Hey YouTube, it's Fuzzy Token here, and if you don't know already, Priority's gone, which is amazing and makes Inzektor's a lot better. Because Rabbit was its hardest matchup, and Rabbit is way easier to deal with in the main board now. Because Effect Veiler hits Rabbit and
then they're left with it on the field. Like,
yeah,
what are they gonna do with that?
It's just an easier to handle deck without Priority, because they resolve. Because you can effect them. And yeah, so anyways, you start off with 3 Dragonfly. He's the main card of the deck. He just lets you spam more Inzektors from deck when things get detached from him, and it's amazing. 3 Centipede. When things are detached from him, he searches, so that's pretty damn good too. 3 Hornet. When he detaches from an Inzektor, he blows up a card on the field, and that's amazing. And the basic loop is to go Dragonfly, do his effect, equip the Hornet, hit a card on their side of the field, special the Centipede from deck, equip the Hornet, hit a card on their side of the field, and then you can overlay into an Exceed. That's the basic play for Inzektors, but it's not the only play. Actually, that's probably one of their weakest plays. But their weakest play is still pretty damn strong. So
that it's a +4, effectively.
That tells you something about the deck. So you play 2 Hopper because you're not always going to open with Hornet, and that really sucks. So if you open with Hopper instead, and one of these two, you can easily just go like Summon Centipede, equip Hopper, detach Hopper, which will allow him to attack directly, which it was ruled where you can do that first turn, even though you don't have a battle phase. Then you
Not that you can attack, that you can use the effect.
Yeah, you can still detach.
You can't still attack first turn.
No. So you still get to search your your Hornet, which makes Hopper a really good card. But he's gonna get replaced with Inzektor Gruff pretty damn soon.
Not Gruff, Ladybug,
whatever the fuck it's called. Gigamantis. It can equip itself to an Inzektor, not through an Inzektor effect, which is an important thing. And it makes him beat stick, and it lets you special from the grave when it's detached from him. He just lets you continue combos, which is pretty damn good card. 1 Card Trooper. I'll explain why I have him in the main a little bit later, but he is an amazing card in the deck. Same thing with Raiko. I can explain him a little bit later when you see the rest of the deck. You should know what Raiko does by now. Sangan, Search Power, basic. You do run a couple of lights, and you search through them pretty damn easily. So BLS is always live, so run him. Dad, you have amazing graveyard control with this deck.
One of the best graveyard control decks, really,
in the game right now. So Dad is always live, and he pushes in for the extra game, and he's an easy just drop and start raping. Gores for protection.
Gores is a lot better now because without priority, nobody's going to run warnings. And warning was the best way to counter Gores because you can't bottomless him. You can't torrential him because it happens in the damage step. So now that that's gone, Gores got better.
2 Effect Veiler. Really considering bumping this up to 3 if Heroes wasn't around. Dead against Heroes, which sucks, but it just got a lot. Effect Veiler just got a lot better. You might even see a price jump in these.
Even just the supers.
Yeah. Excalibur. At first, I wasn't a believer in this card, but I am now. It boosts them by 800, and then when it leaves one of the Inzektors, or when it just goes to the grave, you get an Inzektor from your grave and add it to your hand. So it helps with the consistency, and it helps you pull off a big OTK. That's pretty damn consistent. I'm not going to show you that. Fuck it. Double Pot of Duality. I used to run 3 Pot of Duality and a Lord Darkness. Now, I'm going to tell you why I don't anymore. It clogged. Pot of Duality, you can't special summon that turn. You should know that. And when you have to activate multiple of them because you have multiple in your hand, it really limits your plays because you want to spam the field and start popping and abusing Hornet and Dragonfly. And this stops you from doing it, but it's amazing because it lets you dig into your deck. That's why I run these. Because these do the exact same thing. If they allow you to dig into your deck to get those Hornets, and Raiko will pop a card on the field, which will pop Shadow and Prison Mirror, which is important because Shadow and Prison Mirror gets sided in against you game 2 and 3 all the fucking time. And Card Trooper, you do run 2 Call the Haunted in this deck, so Card Trooper is a great target for that because it's a +1. Whenever
they MST face down, chain Call the Haunted, get that, draw 1. I mean,
it's just fucking amazing. And I don't run Allure because Allure was really good in the deck, but I found that I didn't have enough targets in hand, and it hurt me more than it helped me a lot. Foolish Burial, it dumped the Hornet. You need to do that as quick as possible. That's why I'm running the milling cards too, because you want to dump them. Then you just have Staples. You run the 3-minute MST because skill drain and Shadow Imprisoning has hurt you a lot, and getting rid of the back row is important so you can pop other things. Because back row really is the best way to beat this deck. Book of Moon, just generally a good card. You still run the Judgment, and I run the 2 bottomlesses now because with priority gone, you don't need to run Warning. Because Warning, the entire thing about Warning was it negated their summon, so they wouldn't even have a chance to priority their effect. But with Bottomless, now that priority is gone, Bottomless becomes 100 times better because it does what Warning does, plus it banishes, and you don't have a life point cost.
So get your gold Bottomless while you can, because that's going to skyrocket.
Yeah. Double Torrential. Abuse your opponent for overextending. And Torrential, same thing with Bottomless. Now that priority is gone, Torrential just gets better. Same concept. Double Call the Haunted. You have a couple floaters in the deck, which is awesome with Call. But a lot of the time, with all the milling that happens, you mill the monsters you don't want to mill. So that's what happens with Call. That's why it's in here, because you can get those Dragonflies back, you can get those Centipedes back that you milled that you didn't want to mill. And then you can start doing combos off. And 1 tech Compulse. Compulse is just a good card. Extra deck, just generic rank 3s. You know what they all do. This thing came out, I haven't used it once. It's a subpar card. I don't think it's going to do much. This is pretty good, but I don't ever go into it.
What 4s do you have?
Those 2?
No, like what level 4s do you have? Oh, yeah, I guess.
Oh, and once Ladybug comes out, I'll be able to go into 4s more often.
Yeah.
Utopia Ray, because you never leave Utopia out by itself. You always go into the Utopia Ray, because if they mind control and then overlay your Utopia with Utopia Ray, you're just like, well, fuck me. So you do that. Then just some generic Synchros. Army Armor is awesome in this deck because you can summon a monster, and then say it lives. You can summon your Effect Veiler, Synchro into Armory Arm.
I've seen him do it.
Remove the 2 that you just did, play BLS, OTK. And then your opponent's just kind of sitting there looking at you being like, whoa, what the fuck just happened? Chimera Tech, and then Token for Gores. And then side, do I have time for side? No? Alright, super quick. Snowman's Rabbit, Machines, General Hate, Inzektors, Dark World, Rabbit. If you don't know what this does, look it up. Amazing.
Very good card.
Pretty much side this always game 2. Shadow Imprisoning hurts. Inzektors and Heroes.
Yes, it's another card right there. Got a lot better.
With the priority gone, this is amazing.
$5 card now. Who knows? We'll probably go up to 20, if not higher.
No, not 20.
Yeah.
But you can hit Rabbit with these, and it'll remove all 3 copies since they can't priority effect and pay cost, which banishes them. They stay on field, so you can banish all copies. And then if you have a second one and they go Tour Guide, banish all Tour Guides.
And that's good.
And then their entire engine's gone, and they're playing a vanilla deck with staples, with staple trap cards. And that's an easiest help deck to beat. So yeah, Inzektors, pick them up. They're going to be good. See ya.